All right, guys, we got a 2018 Accord. If you got a 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, you want to do the rear brake pads and rotors. This is electric brake. So what we want to do here is you want to go inside the vehicle first. Make sure you put something in the tire so the car doesn't roll back. So what I want to do here is we're going to put the accessory on and let's start up the engine. Okay, the customer took the key with them. Okay, starting over. So this customer, so if you don't have the e-brake on, the parking brake, the electric brake, you see the wheel spinning. So if you do have it, what you want to do is you want to turn it off. Okay, there's not much to do here. So pretty much, if you start the engine with the brake pedal on, this red light here means your parking brake is on. You shouldn't be able to spin that tire. All you need to do is turn it off, turn the vehicle off. We're gonna go outside now. So that's how you're gonna get the parking brake off. Okay, if you don't do that, it's not gonna you don't want the parking brake on, even though we could turn it, but you're not gonna be able to take off your caliper. So let's get this going. All right, to start, we're gonna start to remove this sensor right here. So what you need to do is just pushing back on this guy will do it, but I usually just go inside, push on that retainer, and this whole thing will just start to go back. And after that, I just push this baby back. I've been doing this for several. This is like the 5th car I got that I'm doing this on. And then, so our actuator has been disabled already. We already turned the brake off. As you can see, we can spin the brake. So what I want to do is I want to take off these cups. Next, this is 1. This is 2. We're going to put Allen in there. But prior to that, we're going to remove this little color retainer here. There's a function of the retainer. I'm going to show you that what's the function of this guy today. All right, so first thing first, we're going to remove this little guy. So be careful you don't hit you in the eye or hit your fingers. So very simple. Just take a flathead screwdriver, pull it out. You don't need a special tool like this. I just got fancy tools. You just got a curve to it, but it's just like a flathead screwdriver. But anyway, that baby comes out. What we're going to do next is we're going to go in the back. We're going to take off the 2 Allens. All right, so got myself an Allen here. This is size number 7. And hopefully this fits. This is good. So counterclockwise, we're going to remove this guy. And we're going to loosen up the top one here. That's it. Once they're loose, you should better take out both of these slider pins. Okay, there you go, that's 1. And let me work on this one right here. Fix my light up a bit. There you go, it's better. So once both of these are out, we should be able to remove our caliper with a little bit of difficulty because these pads are like pushed in to the bracket. So sometimes you need to push these slider pins in because even though you're losing it, they'll still be stuck in there. So make sure you push them back. And once they're out there, we're gonna bring the camera out a bit and let's catch the view from right here. All right, next up, we're gonna pull this caliper off. See how easy that was? Our line is disconnected. Do not forget to connect that baby back once the job is complete because you're gonna be in trouble. So these brake pads look pretty good, but the customer wasn't satisfied with these aftermarket brake pad. The customer bought this car from the place. So anyways, we're gonna remove the rotor next. And what we're gonna do first is we're gonna prep the caliper, okay? So what we wanna do here is we're gonna remove 2 bolts on this caliper actuator. 1 and 2. You're not gonna be able to compress this piston. There's no way. You're gonna have to actually turn it manually from the back. Okay, but prior to that, let's take this bracket off and let's get the rotor off so we have much more clearance for that. So we'll do that next after we remove the rotor. All right, so I want to take off the bracket first. So I got myself a 17mm. Counterclockwise. This baby comes off. And then we got one more over here. So 2 bolts, 17mm from the bracket. Tough angle, but that's how I get these babies off. 1 and 2. And before you know it, both of these are loose. You can turn them by hand. And let's push this caliper to the side. Okay, there you go. That's 1. And this is 2. All right, so that's 2 of them right there, and the bracket is off. Put this to the side. Now we're gonna take off the rotor. I'm gonna show you a little trick with the rotor. Okay, now you got that little bolt right there, which is not gonna come out. Usually Honda will have 2, but these new ones, they only put 1 in it. All that does is hold the rotor in place. So I usually use a punch, but I can't find that tool. So what I want to do is I want to smack this rotor right here. You see that vibration? That vibration is gonna loosen up that little bolt for me right there. Other than that bolt, they're never gonna come out. It's probably still not gonna come out, but chances are, okay, there you go. Usually this will never come out without that punch, but that is a little trick I got, so at least you guys know how to do that without a special tool. And there's a little screw. We're gonna put that lady back in. And there's a rotor. These rotors has about 80,000 miles on them. And from the back, they're completely rusted out. They had to go. And usually this little thing will cause a vibration. They're a little bit warped. There goes that. We're gonna start prepping everything, and we're gonna compress that piston on that caliper. So prior to that, what you wanna do is you wanna clean the hub, okay? Because the new rotor needs to sit flush. This baby is gonna get clean today. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. That's good. We're gonna spray that down a bit, and we're gonna put a little bit of greasing there. But I want to show you a little bit of something here. Okay, you see this little guy right here? This is what I don't like about these new designs of the brake. There's no hardware on these, okay? So brake pads just sit right there. So they smack and smack. The function of that hardware is to eliminate that direct contact. So whatever wear out would be a hardware. So you see, this is wearing out a bit there. So that is one thing to notice. So it's very important to put your hardware on any vehicle that does have a hardware equipped with a bracket. So I could feel like I could feel it grooving here and in here. So these brake pad was moving in here, bouncing in here, and that's it. That's all I want to say about that. But we do want to clean this up. Okay, so just take a wire brush, clean this baby up. That's all you need to do here. Same thing in the bottom, and it's the same process on the opposite side. There you go. And that's how that baby looks. All right, so it's a moment of truth. This little electrical piece here, this bullshit that Honda came up with. What we're gonna do is, I just don't want to damage anything, especially the harness. And but I do need, see, the rotor's out of the way, so it gives us much more space. So what I want to do here is I want to take off the 2 Allens, and we're using this number is 3x16. So 1 Allen comes off, and here comes another one. Okay, once both of these come off, you should be able to wiggle this little guy, and you should be able to get this actuator off. Okay, this actuator is just a motor with a belt and sometimes they have gears. It's fine, that caliper is fine there. So we're not touching this, okay? So we're gonna put this baby to the side. Okay, now I want to go get a 10 millimeter or an 8 millimeter that would fit in here, but my caliper just went all the way back there. So, okay, if you see any fluid, like brake-like fluid over here, that means you have a bad caliper. The seal, make sure the seal is nice and good. So what we're gonna do here is, we're gonna just turn this baby and compress this baby at the same time. What are we gonna do is, you could use any type of a compress tool. Can't use a C-clamp. That's all, that old technology is gone. So we got ourselves a compress tool here. So we're not gonna be able to compress this baby just like that. So, because it needs to be turned, okay? So got myself an 8 millimeter that's gonna go back here. Let me just switch the angle on this camera so you guys can see this. Don't need to go to the dealer. Okay, so what I wanna do here is, we're gonna put this baby right here and we're gonna turn, okay? If I turn this, I can compress. If I try to compress this without turning this, it just won't go. You see, it will stop right there. If I go the other way around, it won't even turn because it's trying to push the caliper out. That's how the system works. So we're gonna turn this baby. So just figure out which way is going in. You see that? That is the only way, okay? That is the only way. Unless you got a heavy duty scan tool, you got that $10,000 scan tool, and that'd be another way, which Snap-on doesn't provide because you can't even do the new years of the vehicles because you need to update and you still can't do it. Anyway, this is done. Our piston is compressed. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna put this actuator back, okay? To put this actuator back, you can't go wrong, okay? Same way you took out, same way it's going in, okay? So pretty much, same angle, align the two bolts. It's okay for you to turn and twist, okay? Find that perfect spot. If you need to turn and twist, sometimes you need to turn this a little bit more. Okay, let's turn that a little bit to angle, because you only got a little bit of space for this thing to move around. And there you go. And make sure you line everything, and we're gonna put the two bolts in. Give me that one. All right, so we're gonna put one of this here. Make sure you catch it by hand. Okay, got the second one in my hand with the tool. Makes my life easier. Okay, because you got limited space there. So if you need to move this around to line, you can do that. Just move it around until you catch the threads, okay? You do not want to tighten this without catching the thread because you will strip it. And I want to catch the other ones too. They fell on the ground. And what we're gonna do here is, we're gonna put this baby in. So we have successfully compressed this electrical caliper. This is EPA, electrical parking brake. All right, so what I want to do is, I'm going to tighten both of these next. So I'm going to just take my tool. Doesn't have to be crazy tight, just enough so they don't move around and they hold that actuator in place. 1 and 2. So I'm not going to plug this guy until we're done with the job complete, okay? So that's that. Okay, so next step here, I just want to throw some cleaner on this and give it a few seconds for it to dry off. And it's going to quickly dry off. So you want to take some brake greasing. You want to put it on this hub. And that's going to keep it nice and clean. There you go. So we're going to get our rotors next. We got ourselves some electric coated rotor. This is the good stuff that I always use. They're electrically coated, and that's the brand right there. And this is the part number for this baby. We got ourselves some good Evolution brake pads. There's the part number for the rear. So what we want to do here is, this does have oil on it, so you do got to clean this baby up really good. both sides. Okay. Once you drive off, once the job is completed, you might see a smoke because you're not gonna get all the chemicals off this, but the surface does gotta be clean so your brakes stop better because the oil is not gonna allow it. Okay, so we're gonna put this rotor on. You do need to align the rotor with the hole slots here. So if you get it wrong, you're not gonna be able to put that little screw that you took off earlier. This little guy. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to release that one more time. There you go. Sometimes that paint will make it a little bit difficult to go in, and this guy is in. Bada bing, bada boom. Doesn't have to be crazy tight because all it does is hold the rotor in place. So next, we're gonna put the bracket on. So the bracket gotta go on next. Okay, so we got ourselves a bracket with 17 millimeter bolts, same bolts. We're gonna catch all the threads, and then we're gonna lock up these bolts. Okay, 1 and 2. Go. Okay, so the job is pretty much almost complete. We need to put some brake pads on, put on the caliper, tighten up the bolts, put the electrical caliper connector back in. So make sure this is nice and tight. Let me grab that light. There you go. So this is nice and tight. Same thing with this little guy. Double check your work. Nice and tight. I'm in a bad angle because the camera's on the way. Other than that, I would have been doing it from a different angle. There you go. That's done. We're gonna come back out, put the brake pads in, and finish out this job. All right, so we got ourselves brake pads. So inside the box, we got brake pads. You're gonna have 2 brake pads with these retainers, 2 without it. So just to let you guys know, this brake wear indicator on this baby, if you put it, it's in the bottom, okay? So we're gonna keep it in the same place. This is the old brake pad. So that's where that baby would go. So if you put this pad on, it's definitely in the bottom. If you take the other pad, it will become on the top. So this is perfectly good, okay? Our brake pad fit in there really good. So what I wanna do is, I do like to grease my stuff. It prevents noise, direct contact, metal to metal, vibration, all that. It helps. So a little bit of here. You cannot put any greasing on the pad itself or the rotor, and this baby will go right in there. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Little bit of greasing right here because this is the contact part on the bracket, and throw this baby right in there. Perfect. Okay, so this is pretty much done. I'm gonna put a little bit of greasing right here. A lot of people say grab dust, but you can't just put on brake pad without greasing. Okay, this little guy, pay attention to your cable. Make sure your brake line is nice and straight. Can't be twisted or twirled up. So this baby goes right in, and we're gonna push these slider pins in, and it's time to tighten these. All right, so next step here, we're gonna catch the threads first, because 99% of the time you're gonna strip and damage this little guy if you put your tool on it, because I've seen that so many times. I've done it too. So this little guy is gonna get tight, nice and tight. So at the end of the video, what you wanna do is once you complete all the brakes that you have to do, bring the car down, you wanna pump the brake pedal 3 to 4 times, put on your electric brake, on, off about 3 times. That's gonna make this caliper actuator relearn where it is on and off, and it will engage and disengage and find its spot, okay? So anyway, we're gonna tighten this baby up. This gotta go all the way. And then we got this little guy. Okay, nice and tight, okay? All right, so that's done. Do not forget the 2 liter caps. Shebang, okay? Shebang is from American Idol. All right, so this little guy, okay, we're left with a little bracket. Remember this little bracket that I told you guys? What's the function of this? You see this? Look at this. I'm gonna show you the same thing in the front, okay? You look how everything's moving. So this thing is like a spring-loaded retainer that keeps your caliper nice and tight, and it prevents brake pads from moving, vibration, and everything. It just eliminates all that. So that's the only function. If you don't put that on, your brake pad and everything is gonna move just like that. You're gonna have bad brakes. All right, so we got ourselves a new retainers, okay? So do I have a name of this? I have no clue what this thing has a name on of it. I would just call it brake holder, brake clip. So that's it. We need to do one more thing. Take your old brake pad, tap, 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 bada bing, bada boom, okay? Turn your rotor, it should be free, and that noise is fine. That's the brake pad suction, but it shouldn't be any metal to metal scrape. Sometimes these shields, if you push them, they will make noise, but once the wheel go on, this is gonna get compressed, it's gonna sit nice and straight. Okay, I do hear a little noise, but once the wheel going on, it's gonna go away. Anyways, double check your work. The back bolts are tight. This is tight. Calipers in. All we need to do now is we need to go back in it, because I get a lot of comments on these. Oh, I did my brake just the way you did. Now I got the EPA brake light traction lights because you forgot this, okay, or you damaged something. Okay, and it's gonna go all the way, okay? Once it's all the way, you should not be able to. Okay, you see how that came out? It should not come out. It should click, okay? There you go, it clicked. So it shouldn't come out. Now if I try to take it out, it should not come out, okay? So make sure it clicks. Try to push it out. If it comes out, it's no good. My brake line is nice and straight. Job well done. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Stay tuned for more videos. Okay, now that we're complete, check this out. So this is how this baby works. So if I pull this, you see this? First of all, I can't even pull it. It's so strong. If I decide to pull it, it's gonna try to just take it right back to the spot where it's supposed to be at. So that's how you see this. It's like a spring loaded. Anyways, good stuff. Make sure do not leave that behind. It needs that.